What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and wow, this has been a bizarre week. It's the media cycle certainly has everyone on their toes. We've got the Bud Light stuff going on. We got the Mr. Beast stuff going on. We are still waiting for the Tranifesto, which we probably will never get, even though uh, the PD said it was going to be released. Let's keep the pressure up on that. Now we have yet another anger management problem from a certain group of people taking place at a University of Washington campus. And I just think, again, I've said, and I'll say it again, much of people's behavior, not just this particular group of people, but certainly it seems relevant now, comes from when people act up, right? They've never had any real life consequences. You see a lot of these like woke activist people or protesters, quote unquote, going on and never facing any consequences, committing crimes, getting caught on tape, and having woke district attorneys cut them loose, not give any jail time. Look, we have a overpopulation problem in our prisons, right? Okay, so we can probably agree with that, right? But I don't believe the answer is releasing criminals back into the streets. You build bigger prisons. You put systems in place so that people learn to follow the laws. You keep families together. You address the social reason why so many people. I saw this video today from New York City where this dude just gets like, got on the street and like they just walk away and everyone's just like, oh, that's normal. The answer is not putting these people back out into the public. And this is what you get with this situation. We're going to take a look at it. By the way, this video is sponsored by Meta PCs. It's the tower I use. My actual computer is on this list. It's Jeremy's ultimate build. But I worked with them to get kind of this like good, better, best insano builds, but they do custom builds. They do laptop. It's the laptop I use. It's a tower I recommend to my friends and family. If you use promo code The Quartering in the link in the description below, you'll also save when you purchase it. I know you might not be in the market right now, but just remember promo code The Quartering over at metapcs.com will save you some money when you are. Moment raging trans activist flips a Turning Point student's information stand at the University of Washington, screams, "Get the F off my campus, you Nazi." A shocking video shows how a furious transgender activist flipped over a display table for conservative campus group Turning Point USA at a University of Washington before calling them a Nazi. Again, I say this, and I will say it again, and if you agree, leave a like on the video. Conservatives need to press charges every single time. And if woke DAs don't prosecute, then you sue them. You sue the individual in civil court. I don't care how minimal the damage is. You make them show up in court. You make them hire a lawyer. You make them pay their parents, pay their money, right? Because I'm sure the parents are paying for this. You make their parents pay. If you get, if you get a woke DA that won't, then you run campaigns against that DA and get them out of office. Conservatives are just too like, oh, look at this crazy lib doing something crazy. We need to prosecute them or take them to civil court. Too many people say it's, and by the way, one big group like Turning Point USA or Daily Wire or, all these super huge mega corporations in the conservative space, they should be putting together a war chest for people who are out on the streets to legally sue these people to make it super easy. Like, imagine if like you could just take this person to court. This little outrage cost them $12,000 in legal fees and maybe a $100 fine. Who cares? But you enacted a penalty for their behavior. The protester, who has not been identified, again, should be identified. People should find this person pretty quickly, hurled foul language at Turning Point USA reps before destroying their information desk as they stood and filmed the outburst earlier this week. The video begins with the activist mid-sentence saying, "Yeah, you guys support the genocide of trans kids." Again, no. as the latest example of left-wingers protesting the group's presence on university campus. They have every right to be there, just like anyone else, right? Representative for TPUSA, a conservative nonprofit advocating for right-wing issues at colleges, says no and adds, that is such an assumption, but the transgender woman continues. Such an assumption, right? With all this S, the protester responds, gesturing towards the group's pamphlets and badges. The volunteer for the conservative calmly asks, what on this table is anti-trans? Your TPUSA, your dumb B words, whatever. She states before grabbing the table and flipping it over, more or less wrecking the display. Get off my campus, you Nazi! She states before storming away. I'm assuming there's a biological male. With the TPUSA representative asking if what just happened was illegal. Of course it's illegal. It's assault. You damaged their property. And again, I don't care how spurious the frivolous the lawsuit is. Press it. TPUSA should be funding that. TPUSA should be protecting. They want to advocate on campuses. Then, Turning Point USA needs to protect their staff. And you know what? You take 5 or 6 of these lunatics to court, and you cost them a bunch of money. That word is going to get out. And when they start doing this stuff, they get sued, and their parents tell them, I'm not paying for your college anymore if you're going to do stuff like this. There has to be some penalties if the DAs won't prosecute. It's unclear if the person had been reprimanded. I'm sure they haven't been. Or if even an investigation is ongoing. Regardless, the TPUSA chapter at the high school appears undeterred. Campus field organizer Rachel Anderson, who originally shared the video Wednesday, tweeted, some of that tolerance here at UW. We're not going anywhere and we'll continue to have a presence on campus. DailyMail.com has reached out. Let's actually take a look at this video. Oh, I'm sorry. The organization is often the target of liberal and socialist protesters. Last week, TPUSA, let's actually find this video quick because it's actually wild.
Yeah, no, you just support the genocide of trans kids and you want everyone who's born to die? Yeah, no, you do.
That is such an assumption.
It's such an assumption, right, with all of this. Right.
It looks like I see some president.
Anti-trans on the table.
Nothing, right? It says, what's anti-trans on the table? Nothing. And then what happens when you defeat them intellectually?
TPUSA, you dumb whatever. My campus,
That's illegal?
Yeah, sure.
Right there, she touched him. That's an assault.
Can you call campus security?
Yeah, I will actually. Hey, I have it on camera.
Yeah, cool. You have me on camera. Tell me not to fuck off.
Hey.
I mean, take her to court. Take them to court. And then, by the way, again, same thing here with this other issue. Last week, TPUSA students and Students for Life held an event at the school's Seattle campus with pro-life speaker Autumn Higashi as part of the Unapologetically Against Planned Parenthood tour. According to the Daily UW, several activist groups protested the event. But again, I will, reiterate, 110% fine with protesting. When you put your hands on somebody or you damage their property, there should be a charge. There has to be a penalty for that. And see, a lot of people, and what's going to happen is there will be penalties for this that both people end up in jail. That's not what I want. People will say, oh, you start having a group of, other conservatives protecting it, and then you get in the fisticuffs. I don't want that. You don't need all that. You just need to make it financially painful for these people. And if you can't do that, if you can't lock them up, then saddle them with lawsuits. Some students believe that Higashi should not have been even platformed at the campus in the wake of the reversal of Roe v. Wade. Again, no. In the post-Roe world, the kind of rhetoric and message is just unacceptable, said Lucy Terry, communications officer at HFRF, the on-campus pro-choice group. It's incredibly harmful to be on campus. Well, maybe you should be studying. I don't really understand why you have these weird political activist groups on campuses anyway. You should probably just get a job if you have that much spare time, or you should probably be doing work, like working on your studies. But I think a lot of these campuses, they're a bunch of general education, 18-year-old people that, don't really have a plan in life, or we don't have anything they know what to do. You see also super soldier protesters, smashed their way inside of a talk by conservative star Charlie Kirk at the University of California last month. These people always resort to being violent. They always do, because they cannot defeat your ideas. So they just rage, and there starts to need to be real legal penalties. If they're not going to get jailed, then they should be brought up on charges or sued civilly. And and the schools, by the way, the schools, if a school is found to not be adequate, we saw this with Riley Gaines. If a school is not providing adequate protection for their own students, then those students should be suing their school. All it's going to take is a couple $40 million lawsuits against these woke universities to get them back in line. Conservatives need to do better punitively against these institutions that allow this kind of behavior in the first place. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you have a like on it. Make sure to check out metapcs.com, promo code TheQuartering when you get a chance, and we'll talk to you again real soon.